We're with Wilhelmina Rowsell, and we're in her garden. We have a sign here, and it says Solomon's Point. Why do you call this Solomon's Point?
Well, everyone is asking me that question. And Solomon is Hearn's grandfather. And I think he was about the first, they were about the first people that came to settle in the Rattling Brook. And they came up from Three Arms, I think. And they moved on this point. And this is why it's called Solomon's Point.
Do you know what kind of flowers these are?
That's petunia waves. They're called purple waves.
I guess it takes a lot of work to have such a nice garden.
Oh yes, a lot of work.
How much time do you spend in your garden, roughly?
Oh dear, I spend a lot of time. Usually out 7:30, 8 in the morning, and in the afternoons, out till lunchtime, the afternoon out until maybe 3 or 4 o'clock, and then after that, out again.
So I guess it's something you enjoy?
Oh yes.
Well, we're going to take a walk around Wilhelmina's garden now, and she's going to point out some flowers to us and tell us what they are, and so let's go. What type of flowers are these?
Well, this one is called a butterfly plant. And these are just ordinary petunias. These are phlox. These are lobelians. The rest is ordinary petunias.
Oh, they're lovely.
And these are down here about the one that These here are similar to the same. They're the purple waves, petunias, and these are phlox and petunias.
So is there any, when you plant them, do you make sure they're a certain color scheme, or do you do it according to what grows together, or?
No, I try to blend in the colors. Like this one is one seed in the middle, a wave, a purple wave, one seed I put in the middle, and then I plant the different colors out around.
Oh, so it's more done to color scheme.
Yes.
What type of plant is that growing in the middle there?
It's some sort of a pine. I don't think it's a ordinary pine, but I just don't know exactly what the name is. But it grows out quite wide. Not really high, but it expands, and it's beautiful when it's larger.
I noticed you said you had a lot of petunias, I think, is that what they're called?
Yes.
Is that your favorite flower? Is there any specific reason?
No, really, it's not my favorite flower because there's so much work with them. But I like them assorted colors, and you can get a lot of assorted colors in petunias, and that's why I plant them.
Ah, I see. I noticed you have a birdhouse here next to this beautiful tree. Do you get any birds here?
Not really. You might see a few flying around, but we get more birds up in the upper garden than we do down here in this end of her.
You wouldn't happen to know what type of tree this is, would you?
That's a maple tree.
What type of flowers are these?
Well, this is lupins, but now they're gone for years. They're gone to seed now. But these pink ones, that's lavatiers. Yeah, they're a bit different, and they're beautiful. They last till late in November. They last until the frosts come, and they remain like they are. There's no work with them, no trouble, and they are a nice flower. Rocks. These two rocks were brought up from down in the beach.
I noticed that you have some flowers growing out of boots. Is there any particular reason why you chose boots to use as flower pots?
No, I just seen that in a magazine. And I just picked up some old boots around 2 yard sales in different places and used them like that.
I noticed also that they're on rocks, and well, if you look around here, there really aren't a lot of big rocks. Where do these rocks come from, and why did you choose to use them in your
Well,
garden?
those two big rocks are really, there's some memories for my husband, these rocks. These two rocks were down on the ocean on the beach, and they were called Grandmother and Grandfather Rowsell. Hearn's grandmother and his grandfather. They used to go down and sit on those rocks, and Hearn decided one day he'd go down with the tractor and bring them up. So I just set some boots on them, but it's not their boots.
So Wilhelmina, where did you get this lighthouse here?
Well, that was made by a very good friend of ours, Burt, here at Rattling Brook.
And where do you get all your ideas for like your lighthouse and your boots and all your designs here? Where do you get your ideas?
I think I get a lot of them from magazines. I read a lot and look up a lot in magazines, and I think I get quite a few from there.
So do you add anything new each year, or do you just leave it all the same?
Oh, well, I try to do a little bit different. Like, I do my pots a bit different every year. And if anything I see, I like to add on something every year.
So Wilhelmina, how did your garden start out here?
Right here, what you see now, the dogberry tree, Hearn's mother planted that about 70 years ago. Her house was on the back of the dogberry tree. So she planted the dogberry tree, and some of the roses you see, the pale pink ones, she planted those. But the rest, these trees here, we planted, myself and Ern planted them. And what you see, the rest of it, we did it.
So how long have you been working on this garden now?
Oh dear. Maybe, maybe 10 years, maybe 12.
So Wilhelmina, what are these pink and blue flowers here?
Those are called Celines. And they're something like the phlox. But they stay out quite late too, late in the fall.
You just threw that tree?
Yeah, I do. I think it was in the garbage can. Which one I just laid it?
So what are these pink flowers here, Wilhelmina?
Those are lavender.
How long do these usually last?
Oh, they stay until the frosts come. And they're beautiful. They look more like a satin, like a material.
Yeah, they are beautiful. So what are these flowers right next to them?
That's phlox, but it's a different kind.
What kind?
Twinkle phlox.
So why are they different than normal phlox?
I don't know. Just a different, the seed is different, I guess.
And these flowers over here are the normal phlox
That's the
then?
normal, that's the plain ones.
What type of flowers are in this bunch, Wilhelmina?
Well, the rose tree, that's just a plain, ordinary white, rose tree. And that stays out quite a long time. Those are the purple waves, petunias you see up on front. And the ones on the back is black-eyed Susans. They come every year.
What kind of flowers are here, Wilhelmina?
This is lavender.
And are they hard to grow here?
Yes, they are. You really shouldn't transplant them. You should start them off out in your garden with seed. But when you start them off in the greenhouse and then transplant them, they're really hard to grow. But I've had pretty good luck this year with them.
What kind of pot is it that these flowers are in, Wilhelmina?
Well, that's a little bit different than the one down on the road. That's called a punch and tub. It's about 100 years old. It was given to me by a retired fisherman that his father owned.
See if we get a good view of it now. There's a line of flowers here going up your driveway. What kind of flowers are in this?
There's a mixture there. Petunias, phlox, lobelia. Mostly, that's what's there.
Wilhelmina, where did you learn to garden?
Well, I guess I learned a lot from my mom. She loved flowers, and she always had, so long as I can remember, she always had a nice flower garden.
How old were you when you started then?
Well, I guess I used to be 10 and 12, and I used to have to go out and help her, and she used to show me where the weeds were and help her pick out the weeds. So it started from there, I guess.
So did she help you at all with your garden here?
No, she had, last she could remember, when she got older and she got sick, she used to come down and look at it, and she knew it was nice, but there's nothing she could do. She could not help me.
Wilhelmina has her flowers put in a wheelbarrow. Wilhelmina, where does this wheelbarrow come from?
Oh, that's a wheelbarrow that Paul had when he was a little boy, about 3 years old. Reverend Burton, Joel Burton, made that for him about 35 years ago, I think. And I kept it, looked out to it, and I decided I'd plant a few flowers in it, seeing Paul's coming home.
What type of tree do you have here, Wilhelmina?
That's a balsam tree. That's only been planted about, I think, 6 years.
It's grown an awful lot since 6 years.
Yeah, they do grow huge. They're big trees.
What advice do you have for anybody who's starting gardens, Wilhelmina?
Well, I think the important thing is have very good soil. Make sure you've got everything you need in your ground before you start to put anything in. And then, of course, after you get it in, they need tender, loving care.
Well, you have a beautiful garden here, Wilhelmina. Thank you for your time and thank you for the tour of your garden.
And thank you very much for your time.